I think he really gave himself over to, you know, to the devil.
The search will continue until Friday, but investigators say they are starting to find what they wanted when they started searching. The squadron of lawmen from Summit County, Ohio, bagged several bones and other evidence found on the property where Dahmer once lived with his parents. While these remains may not be from Dahmer's first victim, investigators suspect they may have been from animals that Dahmer slaughtered as part of a satanic-style ritual. Sources here tell Channel 7 News that in the mid-1970s, investigators found mutilated sheep nearby, and a beheaded dog was found strung up on a cross on the Dahmer's property. The teenager was suspected, and now it's thought he may have learned to kill animals before moving on to people. We have found today that people around here have been asking a lot of questions of things that they may have taken for granted at one time. For instance, the telephone exchange for this area where Jeffrey Dahmer committed his first murder is 666, the biblical sign of the beast. People around here never took notice of that before, at least not in those terms. The one thing that everybody would like to know, though, is why Jeffrey Dahmer started his murder spree that carried from here to Milwaukee over a period of 13 years.
Are those of us who are following this case in the press, as far as you can tell, being well informed with respect to, I mean, should we take the police's word when they say he confessed to 17 murders? Number one, should we take the police's word? And number two, if he did confess, were they constitutionally and voluntarily obtained?
The question tonight, was Dahmer working alone, or did he have accomplices?
Channel 5's Ray Suarez is live in Milwaukee with the latest from there. Ray?
Well, the local law enforcement are looking into the speculation that Dahmer did not work alone. There are rumors to that effect coming out of Milwaukee law enforcement today as continuing revelations are made about the victims, both in the apartment and in other locations.
The discovery was made at a Milwaukee airport. A box marked computer parts was found by drug-sniffing dogs, but when the box was opened, inside were human bones, the remains of Matt Turner. 20-year-old Matt Turner was last seen alive this past June. Jeffrey Dahmer confessed to killing Turner in his Milwaukee apartment. Turner's remains were among those of 11 victims found in Dahmer's apartment in July. The remains had been released by the Milwaukee coroner to a funeral home and were being flown from Milwaukee to Turner's family home in Flint, Michigan for burial. Why they were shipped in a cardboard box labeled computer parts isn't clear. The Milwaukee funeral home comment. A Chicago priest...
Since the Dahmer revelations, police in Kenosha County have reactivated their investigation of a 1983 dismemberment murder of a gay teenager.
Ray Suarez has the latest details on that story. Ray?
Ron, an author who has followed the bloody career of Larry Eiler was reading about the Jeffrey Dahmer case in a newspaper and found her memory triggered by a murder 8 years ago, still unsolved. Then she called Milwaukee police. Eric Hansen's torso was found in a dumpster in Kenosha in October of 1983. Though it was only a torso, the 18-year-old was identified from the scars left by earlier surgery. The case was never solved. At the beginning, Kenosha County Police thought the killing may have been the work of Larry Eiler, who was known to have been in Milwaukee in the early 80s. Now the attention is turning to Jeffrey Dahmer, who, according to Milwaukee police, was also in the area in 1983.
This young man disappeared September 27, 1983, from the gay area of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And when they found him, his head's missing, his hands are missing, and his feet are missing. Now, there's no mutilation of the genitals.
Kolarek is the author of Freed to Kill, which details the crimes and legal journey of Larry Eiler. The killing of Eric Hansen didn't fit the Eiler method, which featured the stabbing of a bound victim, while Dahmer's victims had been taken apart. Jeffrey Dahmer has been interviewed about the Hansen murder, and the man who's already confessed to a number of killings didn't deny that Hansen's death was his work. He only told interviewers he didn't remember. Kolarek says killings like these would be solved more quickly if police departments had special gay crimes units.
With Larry Eiler, I was able to find 7 men who survived attacks from Larry Eiler. And each one of them told me that they weren't taken too seriously. That they were told, oh yeah, was he your lover? How much did he pay you? He handcuffed you. What else did you do kinky?
And Kolarek points out that the first Eiler stabbing victim took a payment arranged by Eiler's lawyer and didn't go to court because of his own reluctance to discuss his homosexuality before an open courtroom. Ron and Carol?
All right, thank you, Ray. And the Dahmer case has authorities overseas looking into files to see if he might be linked to killings there. In particular, the U.S. Army is reviewing 5 unsolved cases in Germany during the time Dahmer was stationed in Germany. He served as a medic at Baumholder between June 1979 and March 1981. Files on 4 women and 1 man murdered during that time in that area remain open.
Jeffrey Dahmer became a soldier when he enlisted in the Army in 1980. For 18 months, he was stationed in Germany, and while there, bunked with Billy Capshaw. Capshaw, who is serving a 1-year sentence for negligent homicide in an Arkansas prison, describes Dahmer as a cold, maniacal person who liked to fight.
He'd go to bed, and if he was drinking, I'd have to wait until I went to bed. You know, I have to wait till he was totally passed out or asleep before I could get in my bunk because the chase would be on again.
Capshaw also says that Dahmer often talked about his dislike for children.
Even though Jeffrey Dahmer has only confessed to specific murders, his crime trail may lead across the nation, even around the world. Authorities investigating the possibility that he could also be responsible for their most heinous crimes. And some say Dahmer may be deliberately keeping that information to himself to avoid prosecution. The ripples from Milwaukee's shockwave have reached that city's suburbs, Fresno, California, Ohio, Germany, and Hollywood, Florida, where the case of Adam Walsh has been opened. He's the little boy who inspired a nationwide campaign for missing children. Dahmer's picture was circulated today at the shopping mall where Adam was last seen. In Baumholder, Germany, where Dahmer was stationed in the Army, investigators are comparing the facts of unsolved homicides there with the modus operandi in the Milwaukee murders. Dahmer has denied any involvement in any slayings in Germany. But police believe his confessions may be part of a plan to stay alive by cooperating with authorities in states that have no death penalty.
It's a marvelously inventive tactic to allow him to make these statements knowing full well that no jurisdiction is going to give him up. No jurisdiction will willingly give him up to be tried in another one. So I think he wants his client tried, or perhaps even plead guilty, but certainly tried in a jurisdiction where the death penalty is not applicable.
If Dahmer is convicted in Milwaukee, where there is no death penalty, the most he could get, of course, would be a life sentence. A different side of Dahmer is emerging tonight from a woman he dated earlier this year. The woman tells us they went out for movies and drinks, and he seemed like a normal guy. She asked not to be identified.
He never acted funny. He never did anything stupid. He was perfectly fine to me, you know. He treated me great, you know. I don't know, he treated me like one of the guys, you know, and it was kind of nice, you know. I never thought he would do something like that.
But there was one strange part. During their dates, the woman says Dahmer expressed a strong dislike for homosexuals. As we reported, Mr. Dahmer spent a lot of time in Chicago, and tonight we have new information about his connection to our city. Dahmer was a member of a gay bathhouse on North Clark Street called Man's Country, Chicago. The owner says Dahmer was never a problem there ever since he joined the club in July of 1987. Here is Dahmer's membership card and his signature. If he had caused any trouble, it would have been noted on the card, and he would have been kicked out of the club immediately.
A final note, the WTMJ here in Milwaukee, our sister station, is now reporting that police have reason to believe that Dahmer had or has AIDS and is seeking a warrant to take blood for testing.
Meanwhile, tonight, prosecutors tell us they've taken blood from Dahmer to help their investigation.
Tonight, there are reports that those blood samples will be used to test Dahmer for the AIDS virus. Channel 2's Elizabeth Vargas is in Milwaukee. Elizabeth, has that been confirmed yet?
Adele, at this hour, those reports here in Milwaukee are still unconfirmed. Milwaukee jail officials say they did draw blood from Dahmer for tests, but they will not reveal what those tests are. Milwaukee police deny it was to test Dahmer for AIDS. However, the district attorney's office will not rule an AIDS test out. Dahmer is not just giving blood to police. He says he's revealing all, confessing to gruesome crimes that he has kept secret for years.
And tomorrow morning's editions of the Milwaukee Sentinel will report that Jeffrey Dahmer, in his probation records anyway, it's reported there that Dahmer was abused by a neighbor boy when he was only 8 years old. That reported by Dahmer's father when he was interviewed about Jeffrey's deviant sexual behavior.
Coming out of the Jeffrey Dahmer investigation, one of the most tragic stories involves the children of an immigrant Laotian family. One child molested by Dahmer, another brutally killed and dismembered, even after Milwaukee police apparently had a chance to intervene.
And today, family members are speaking openly about their feelings, as Channel 5's Ray Suarez tells us. It comes to us live from Milwaukee.
Warner, this is one of the first times that the family has actually sat down with reporters and spoken to them about the whole experience. And the Synthesophones haven't been able to have a funeral yet for their son and brother, Konarak, 14 years old. The Milwaukee County coroner still has his remains. I had to ask a question that perhaps occurred to everyone when this story first broke. Weren't alarm bells set off inside the family after the first crime? After his older brother was molested in 1988, wasn't Konarak warned that there was a Jeffrey Dahmer out there?
The police officer, they told us that they're going to put him away for good, and then he's not going to be able to be on the street, do this bad thing again. That's what they told us.
A brother says the family no longer worried about Dahmer. A grieving father tells visitors while his children translate that Jeffrey Dahmer should not have been given freedom from jail after molesting one son, the freedom that he used to murder his youngest son, Konarak. The boy's picture smiles from a Buddhist shrine, which will help Konarak's spirit until there can be a funeral.
This is his favorite, drink, food, what kind of food he likes to eat. We do this every morning. Every morning we do this. Every morning plus at night, we don't leave it inside the house. We take the tray and we leave it outside and have 2 candles.
Police investigators are quoted as saying Dahmer was shocked when he was told the boy whose molestation sent him to prison in 1988 was the brother of the boy he killed this spring.
Maybe he got mad at us that my other brother put him, in jail so the police can arrest him that time, and then so he just follow up, okay, I know this guy, his last name or whatever, and then he's, I don't know, it's confused.
Until this year, this block of neat single-family homes was Konak's entire world. His family says it's only after he started high school that the boy started to explore the wider Milwaukee. So fate could put Konak in a shopping mall on the day when Jeffrey Dahmer was there. And while the family has no comment on future legal action, it has trouble believing Milwaukee police mistook their brother for a 19-year-old. Could your brother look 19?
There's no way. No, I don't think so. I mean, he's just a boy. He's looked too young to be 19 or 18, 19. He's looked too young.
So that doesn't sound like a good explanation to you?
No.